And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show. It is Sunday, April 13th. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down everything. We've got every single team playing today. 1 o'clock slate, 3:30 slate. We've got two separate things going on for today. We also have Sunday of the Masters, but we've got 7 games locking at 1. We've got 8 games locking at 3:30. It is the final day of the regular season. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. This is it, folks. Regular season ends today. We get play-in games starting on Tuesday. We get real basketball again soon enough. But today we're going to walk through everything that's going on. This is not going to have a massive fantasy lean here. This is going to look a lot like it did on Friday. We're going to go through each team. We're going to talk about who's available, what's available, what they have to play for, etc. Should be fun. Should be fun. And we do have some interesting stuff going on because the East, fully set in stone. Everybody's locked into exactly where they're going to be. The West, on the other hand, we got a lot of moving parts that we're going to break down. So I'm still waiting for projections and ownership to hit the site. That should be coming up shortly. But for now, we can get into it because the projections don't matter. This is a discussion show. Live before lock will get you covered for your plays. So let's get started. Let's break it on down, shall we? We'll start it off. Orlando Magic, 1-point dogs in Atlanta, 220 total. So Orlando is locked into the 7 seed. The Hawks are locked into the 8 seed. These two teams are going to play this week. Winner gets the Celtics. So these two teams are going to play in the first round of the play-in, and they're sitting some bodies, shockingly. But we don't know for sure what Orlando is doing. Paolo Banchero, KCP, Wendell Carter Jr., Corey Joseph, and Franz Wagner are all questionable right now. Obviously, if they play, Banchero and Franz Wagner are not playing massive minutes. You wouldn't expect Wendell Carter Jr. or KCP to be playing massive minutes either. I think you're just going to get a very wide spread of Orlando Magic minutes, but we also need to pay attention to those injuries because if some of those guys start ending up out, that's how you start getting to specific teams. You want dudes that are just fully out so that you can trust this process a little bit more. But right now, the whole starting 5, Joseph, Franz, KCP, Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., they're all questionable. So for Orlando right now, they're tricky. If all 5 guys are out, then Atlanta might look a little bit better. But right now, they're not. So that's where we stand. For Atlanta, obviously, largely the same scenario. Dyson Daniels is questionable. Karis LeVert is questionable. George Niang, Onyeka Okongwu, Trae Young. So Atlanta is the same as Orlando. Right now, all of their normal starters are questionable. We don't know if they're playing yet. Even if they do play, they're probably not playing a lot. So I hope you guys got a lot out of Orlando and Atlanta so far. No Orlando or Atlanta bets on Odd Shopper just yet. We'll talk about Orlando and Atlanta when we get, we'll talk about Odd Shopper a lot when we get to the West side. I got something for you guys. Charlotte Hornets, Boston Celtics. Obviously, Charlotte has absolutely nothing to play for. They haven't had anything to play for all year. Celtics are locked into the 2 seed. They clearly have nothing to play for other than getting Jaylen Brown healthy. For the Hornets, Miles Bridges is already out. Moussa Diabate is questionable. Nick Smith is questionable. Mark Williams is already out. So in this case, we actually do have to care a little bit about Charlotte. If Moussa Diabate happens to be out, then even at any price tag, Yusuf Nurkic is going to be a guy we pay attention to. But Charlotte's sort of just the same thing we're used to seeing. They're not a different team in any way. They're not resting for anything. This is just simply their final game before vacation. So I would imagine Charlotte looks a lot like what they've looked like over the past few weeks. Boston, though, Jaylen Brown out, Holiday out, Horford out, Porzingis out, Tatum out, White out. Everybody good except for Peyton Pritchard is out today for Boston. And I would imagine they're not going to step on the gas for Peyton Pritchard, but that is going to make Boston look interesting because they're sitting everybody across the board. So you're going to get big minutes out of J.D. Davison, Baylor Shireman, some combination of Torrey Craig and whatever a Miles Norris is, Cada and Tillman and Cornette. Boston's shorthanded, and they have no choice but to play these guys big minutes. This is a team that matters today on the 1 o'clock slate. This is a team that definitely matters on the 1 o'clock slate. Ooh, projections just went up a minute ago, which means I'll have projections and ownership up on the screen for whatever our first run is. Obviously, take these with a gigantic grain of salt, but they're starting to hit the site now. Projections went up 1 minute ago. Ownership should be up in 3 or 4 minutes. Then we'll get it all up on the screen. But for Boston, I'll circle back to them because we're going to have to touch on them. I expect them to be owned. I don't expect much in Orlando and Atlanta yet. We do have a massive under 19.5 PRA from NoVig on Sam Hauser, 11% EV. We don't have anything for Charlotte, and we don't have anything else for Boston. But we do have this nice Sam Hauser option. So that's good. Did I just get a DM? I did. Give me 1 second, guys. Am I covering the afternoon slate? Yeah, I'm going to touch every game. But again, none of this has anything to do with the West portion is the portion that matters most. I'm going through each East team, but it's not going to be a picks show. So the next game up is Knicks and Brooklyn. The Knicks are 6.5 point favorites in Brooklyn. And the Knicks are locked into the 3 seed. They will be playing the Pistons in the first round. The Knicks don't have anything going on next week. They're just going to be off. So my expectation for New York is in line with sort of what you see on the screen. Anunoby, Brunson, Hart, and Towns are all questionable today. I sort of expect them to play a bit, probably maybe like the first half, because they're already going to be off for the week. So my guess is you see a little bit of the starters, and then you get to the bench, which will likely make the Knicks be pretty uninteresting. Now, if they're all out, then the Knicks will be interesting. Then you'll have your Tyler Koleks and your campaigns and your Landry Shames. But my expectation is, since they're going to have a week off no matter what, these guys are going to get out there, play a little bit, and then move on. Get their game played and then call it a day. But yeah, right now, Anunoby, Brunson, Hart, Towns, all questionable. Brooklyn, they're the same team they've always been. Reese Beekman is questionable. Zaire Williams is questionable. Clowney, Day'Ron Sharpe, both already out. Brooklyn is not going to look good. These guys have been playing this shorthanded shit team rotation the entire time. We're not going to find value on a team that's already properly priced. So do not expect Brooklyn to have much from a fantasy perspective. I don't get the sense that we're going to be getting much of the Nets. The Knicks, on the other hand, could be a team. All right. projections are updated for the 1 o'clock slate. So I'm going to export all of this stuff right now and get it into what we're looking at. That'll only take me a second here, guys. So let's just get that out there, and then we'll break down the rest of these games. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. I'm excited to start talking about real basketball again. Today is going to be a death sentence, but it's a really good slate. Both of them, the 1 o'clock and the 3:30, they're both really good slates to be playing DFS if you have Stokastic tools. You're just going to be way ahead of everybody. All right, projections have been exported for the 1 o'clocks. And I hope that just updated itself. It did. There we go. All right. Let me circle back to those first 3 games and just touch on anything that stands out. Orlando, not interesting. We need their injury news. Atlanta, Trae Young, a little interesting at 9,900 based on the minutes that we have in for him now. Charlotte looks awful. Boston, oddly enough, doesn't have much ownership, but keep an eye here. Shireman looking good. Knicks, interesting right now because we have way bigger minutes than what I was saying. We have Josh Hart in for 30. That will be enough minutes that the Knicks actually do end up looking interesting. For Brooklyn, nothing. That we're not surprised by. But Knicks look better than we thought. We just need to find out if they're going to be questionable or not. All right, Indy and Cleveland. Cavs are 6-point favorites in Cleveland. The Pacers are locked into the 4 seed. They're going to be hosting Milwaukee, and they're going to be off for all of next week. Obviously, Cavs number 1 seed in the East. So that puts us in a spot where the Pacers have a doubtful tag on Ben Shepherd. Pascal Siakam is out. Tyrese Halliburton is out. Everybody else is in. So I'm not expecting a ton out of the Pacers. I think they're going to be really flat with their minutes. Like, TJ McConnell looks interesting, but nothing too crazy. We don't have anybody playing more than 25 minutes. That would be Benedict Mathurin. We don't have anybody higher than 2% owned. It looks like Indy's playing this one and casting a pretty wide net. So maybe you take a shot on like a Quentin Jackson, but I don't think you're going to have a ton of these guys. I guess I should run a script and see who's popping, or run a sim and see who's popping up. But there's not a lot going on for the Pacers right now. No Indy bets on Odd Shopper just yet. Now, Cleveland, obviously, they have absolutely nothing to play for. Garland out, Hunter out, Ty Jerome out, Sam Merrill out, Donovan Mitchell out, Evan Mobley out, Isaac Okoro out, Max Strus out, Dean Wade out. They're sitting everybody that's real. Look at the lineup on the screen for Cleveland right now. Craig Porter, Jalen Tyson, Luke Travers, Javonte Green, Jared Allen very briefly, Tristan Thompson. Jared Allen is only playing so that he plays every game of this season. Tristan Thompson, Naquan Tomlin, Amoni Bates, and Chuma Okeke. All of these guys are free. All of these guys have to play a ton of minutes. Focus, focus, focus. Cleveland is very, very important on this early slate. Very important. This is a team that matters because they're sitting everybody real and they still have to finish those minutes. So Jalen Tyson, Craig Porter, 2 guys that are popping quite a bit. Tristan Thompson, flat 3K, probably playing a decent chunk of time today. Another guy you're going to need to get to. We do not have anything for Cleveland in Odd Shopper right now, which makes sense. I think the West side's going to look a little bit better. Washington and Miami. So Wizards obviously have been dog shit all year. Miami is locked into the 10 seed. They are going to be heading to Chicago for their first play-in game. The Wizards don't have bodies to begin with, but they obviously are sitting some dudes. No Bilal Coulibaly, who's been out for a bit. Jordan Poole is out. Middleton done for the year. Rashawn Holmes is out. JT Thor is questionable. Oddly enough, that actually matters. We are going to be getting to Washington. They just don't have enough guys. So Justin Champagnie looks good. Alex Sarr looks good. Bob Carrington looks good. I think Colby Jones and Tristan Vukcevic need a closer look based on what this slate looks like today. The Thor news will affect everybody I just mentioned, but Washington is one of the teams getting ownership and somebody that we really need to pay attention to. Like for right now, the most owned teams on DraftKings for the 1 o'clocks are Washington, Miami, the Knicks, the Bulls, and the Sixers. But Washington, big priority 1 o'clock slate. Because they only have 8 guys if Thor is in. 7 if he's out. Miami, kind of the same thing. No Bam, no Burks, no Hero, no Pell Larson, no Andrew Wiggins. Duncan Robinson's available. Highsmith is available. Jaime Jaquez is in for 35 minutes, so we haven't been playing him much as of late, but $3,500 Jaime Jaquez, 87% owned right now. That's going to be a guy that you're going to want quite a bit of. I think Terry Rozier looks incredible today at 3,800, assuming he's just going to soak up a ton of playing time. I think you can get to Kel'el Ware, but we might have better options. Duncan Robinson, probably not. Highsmith, probably not. Davion Mitchell, probably not. Maybe some of those 3K bench guys for Miami, but Jaime Jaquez, that's the dude today. 80% optimal, 80% owned. If you're going somewhere for Miami, you're going to Jaime Jaquez. This is a weird one, man. This is such a weird one. Any Miami bets? We do. Jaime Jaquez under 15.5 points on NoVig. Got to be honest with you guys. That would scare me. Justin Champagnie under 1.5 threes on Profit X. Detroit, 7.5 point favorites in Milwaukee. 213 total. Pistons are locked into the 6th seed. They're going to be playing the Knicks in New York, round 1. And then Milwaukee is locked into the 5 seed. They're on the road taking on the Pacers. So both of these teams have the full week off, which makes it an unimportant game. For Detroit, Cade is in. Beef Stew is out. Asar Thompson is out. You're not going to get a full Cade game, but he is going to project really well because his raw point ceiling is so much higher than everybody else. So we are seeing ownership coming into Cade. You got to spend your salary somewhere. So Cade looks good. And then Jalen Duren getting a little bit of love, but everybody else is going to be flat. Your Hardaways, your Beasleys, your Tobias Harrises, your Dennis Schroeders. I think it's tough to get to Detroit. Matthew Cummings, because they're going to be off for a week. So you go out there, you play, you stay loose, you get your final game in, then you bail. But he's in as of right now, probable on the injury report. So you will be paying up for Cade because you're going to have so many guys that you're playing that are flat 3K. Salary stops mattering. And in these cases, you're still going to see these guys project for high raw points. Do we have anything for Detroit and Milwaukee? Because on the Milwaukee side, they're treating it a little differently. Giannis is doubtful. AJ Green is doubtful. Dame is out, obviously. Brook Lopez is out. KPJ is doubtful. Portis is out. Taurean Prince is doubtful. Gary Trent is doubtful. So they are playing Ryan Rollins, Andre Jackson, Pat Connaughton, Kuzma, Tyler Smith, Pete Nance, Chris Livingston, Stanley Amude, and Jamare Bouye. So something will probably look good for Milwaukee. Whether that's Ryan Rollins, whether that's Andre Jackson, whether that's one of these bench idiots that are 3K, Tyler Smith, probably if he's starting, given that power forward eligibility will be very popular. So Milwaukee, because they're punting the whole way, they're sitting everybody. Milwaukee will be a team that we pay attention to because only Kuzma's left and he's not going to play a ton. Nothing for Milwaukee out there on OddsShopper, unfortunately. We got a lot to talk about when we get to the West. Final game of the East, final game of the 1 o'clocks, Chicago Bulls, Sixers. Bulls locked into the 9 seed, hosting the Heat. Sixers, dog shit, obviously not playing for anything. As we look at the Bulls, no Lonzo, no Giddey, no Trey Jones. Can't imagine we're going to get a huge day out of Kobe White, but his raw point ceiling will still be pretty high. So Kobe White and Vooch are actually pulling a decent chunk of ownership. We don't love them in our projections, so I think that's going to go away. But 24 minutes out of Vooch on a day like today isn't crazy. We're just going to have so much center value that it's going to be tough. But I don't think Chicago looks all that great because I assume it's like 24 minutes to everybody. Now for Philly, they're the same team we're used to. Justin Edwards is questionable. Quentin Grimes is questionable. Yabu is questionable. They're already without all the other 100 dudes that have been out. So we are projecting ownership and optimal to Jared Butler, Quentin Grimes, Lonnie Walker, Adam Bona. We're getting some love here to Philly. And I'm not surprised. Chicago stinks. They play fast. You know, Philly's probably going to have one of these guys not be active. I don't know who's still active and inactive for Philly. There's a lot of playing time to go around. There's a lot of role to go around. I think you'll be able to get to some Philadelphia 76ers today. We've been used to that. No Sixers bets, no Bulls bets in OddsShopper. So that's the 1 o'clock slate. Those are the ones that we know right now and have all of the information for. But now we got to get to the 3:30 slate and we got to get to all of the West. So hit that like button right now, guys. We're about to break down the side of this one. The 3:30 slate. These are where the teams are trying today. And that completely changes the outlook of the slate. Everybody on the 1 o'clock games, no one has anything to play for. So that's a lot of like, I don't know, man. For the West, very, very different. Lee Price, who has the tiebreaker between the Jazz and the Wiz if they finish with the same record? It's a coin flip. All right, so for the 3:30 games, you know what? Before we do that, there's a lot going on in the West. The Nuggets can be one of the 4, 5, 6, or 7. The Clippers can be one of 4 seeds. The Warriors can be 6 or in the play-in. The Timberwolves can be one of 5 spots. They could be on the road in the play-in. We don't know who's hosting the 9-10 yet. We don't know who's hosting the 7-8 yet. The West is all over the map. All over the map. We don't know what's going on here. Nuggets, lots of choices. Clippers, Warriors, Wolves, Grizzlies, Kings, Mavs. There's a lot of chaos going on in the West today. And I want to reward you guys for that chaos. The promo code is chaos. If you guys want the portfolio EV tool at OddsShopper, you can get a 14-day free trial by clicking the link in the description of this video. Or if it's easier for you, you can go ahead and click the link that I'm going to drop into chat right now. But I think you guys should come in and use this. I've been sharing the bets on the screen so far. You get expected win rate, you get expected value, you get odds boost calculators, parlay builders, you get mass entry. So if you have 10 recommended bets on DraftKings, you can click a button. It will load all 10 of those bets into your bet card. Saves you a ton of time. Mobile entries. You'll get alerts when any of these bets are available for you. When you get that alert, all you have to do is click it on your phone. It'll take you straight to where you want to be. It's great. And I share it on the screen all the time. I'm going to share it right now. This is what you'll see. And it's not just for sports books, it's for pick'em sites as well. So if you're playing on Prize Picks or underdog or sleeper or dabble or better. It's the same scenario. I can show you it right here. Go to the Pick'em Builder if we want to do that. And I could just build a card for Prize Picks. Boom, 3% EV, 6-pick card. I can click one button. It'll take me immediately to Prize Picks. Done, loaded. That's how easy it is to use OddsShopper in the Portfolio EV. We have all of our historical data here so that you could research everything we've ever recommended. Maybe you want to look at the NBA. And maybe you want to look at just bets that we've recommended with really good ratings. Let's say a 10 OddsShopper rating. Well, I could view that market right now and see when we've recommended 10 OddsShopper ratings, we have a 13.5% ROI on those recommendations. And it's broken down by all of the sports and by all of the different bet types. This is what you can get out of Portfolio EV and OddsShopper. Again, the promo code is CHAOS. We got to celebrate the final day of the regular season. Link in chat or the description. 14-day free trial. Costs you nothing. If you hate it, cancel day 13. You'll pay us nothing. All right. Clippers and Warriors. For the Clippers have a 29% chance to be the 4 seed, a 50% chance to be the 5 seed, and a 20% chance to be the 7 seed. Oddly enough, they can't be the 6. So they clearly want to win. They want to be in the 4-5. They do not want to end up in the play-in. So the Clippers are going to be going for this one. Just full stop. They've got everything to play for. This is the most important game, or one of the most important games today. Wolves, Jazz, Rockets, Nuggets, Warriors, Clippers carry a ton of weight. So the Clippers will be going for this one. They have every incentive to win. Nick Batum is out. Otherwise, they're at full strength. So you're going to be looking at James Harden as a pay-up option. You're going to look to Kawhi today, for sure. You're going to look to Ivica Zubac as well. The Clippers will be interesting because you're going to get 38 to 40 minutes of James Harden, 38 minutes of Kawhi, probably 35 minutes out of Ivica Zubac. They want to win this game desperately. Desperately. So remember, Clippers, they have everything to play for. Excellent pay-up options. Golden State, same scenario. 62% chance to be the 6th seed. 38% chance to be the 7th seed. The Warriors just want to win. If the Warriors win, they're going to be the 6th seed. They're going to be able to be outside of the play-in, get a week rest, and then they're going to end up facing the Lakers, which, holy shit, is that going to be a fun series. You get Steph, Luka, and LeBron if the Warriors win today. So, yeah, you're going to get very real minutes out of Steph Curry, out of Draymond Green, out of Jimmy Butler. This game matters a ton. You want every bit of it. Because you're not going to feel, there's no regret for getting to the Warriors today. We have Kuminga over 17.5 PRA on NoVig right now. If you're looking for a Warriors bet. And then we also have Steph Curry over 9.5 rebounds and assists on BetMGM. Steph under 25.5 points on ESPN Bet. Steph under 5.5 assists on NoVig. Lots of Steph Curry props out there for everybody. How you feeling about that? Liverpool up 1-0 as well. Great start. Great start. So yes, Clippers, Warriors, big game in the West. Nuggets, Rockets. Another massive game in the West. You're getting the Nuggets. 36% chance of 4, 5% chance of the 5, 25% chance of the 6, 35% chance of dropping all the way down to hosting the play-in game. Now, do I think that the Nuggets want that? No. They would never try this. But the Nuggets making the play-in, making a team come to Denver, getting the 7 seed and avoiding the Thunder is sort of like a dream scenario. But at the same time, I'm sure they'd rather just do it in a different way. But, if they're the 4 seed, they're getting OKC in the second round if they win their 4-5. But the Nuggets are trying to win. And because the Nuggets are trying to win, you're probably going to be spending a decent chunk of change on Nikola Jokic. 13K, center only, 35% chance of 75 fantasy points. He's playing 38 minutes tonight. You're going to want Jokic. You're going to want some Gordon or Porter or Brown because they are going to concentrate this rotation to try to win this basketball game. Because Denver has everything to play for. Houston has nothing to play for. Houston is locked into the 2 seed. So Denver gets to give this the full barrel. Houston doesn't have to care in any way. But Houston only has Jayshawn Tate out right now. Leads me to believe they're just going to sit on most of these guys. No one's going to play real minutes. Denver, very great options today. Houston, probably less so. At the very least, they're not going to go heavy on their minutes because they have no reason to. They're just going to be the 2 seed. So you're going to see stepped-on versions of Van Vliet, Amin Thompson, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Şengün. These guys are just going to go take a week off. So they'll play. They won't play a ton, but that will make it so that you're not interested in rostering anybody from Houston. Denver's got a under 12.5 rebounds prop on Jokic on Onyx odds. Under 18.5 points for Murray on NoVig. Nothing for Houston, though. So just Jokic and Murray on the Denver side. Utah and Minnesota. By the way, the Utah Jazz today are 23-point dogs in Minnesota. Houston wants Denver in the play-in? Yeah, probably. But no, I don't think they want Denver in the play-in at all. Anyway, for Utah, obviously they don't have a damn thing to play for, and they haven't all season. No Jordan Clarkson, no Isaiah Collier, no John Collins, no Walker Kessler, no Lauri Markkanen, no KJ Martin, no Cody Williams. It's the same team we're used to for Utah, which does mean we're going to roster some of these guys. $3,800 Jaden Springer looks like solid value. $5,100 Bryce Sensabaugh seems like a solid option in the mid-tier. Oscar Tshiebwe will be a value center that you can get to. But again, Utah's the same team we're used to. They don't have any new news. They're not sitting anybody new that matters. The only thing that we're worried about here for Utah is just simply the same thing we've been used to for weeks. They just want to lose. But Minnesota, on the other hand, desperately wants to win. Minnesota, 35% chance of the 4 seed, 44% chance of the 5 seed, 14 of the 6, 2 of the 7, 5 of the 8. They could host a first round series or be on the road in the first play-in game. That's the range of outcomes for Minnesota right now. So they are going full freight to try to win. They just don't have to go as full as it seems because Utah's so bad. Like, they're 23-point favorites for a reason. Yes, I think that we're going to get full games out of Ant and Randall and Gobert, but I also think they're going to pull the plug in the fourth quarter if this one goes the way that we think it's going to go. So it's an interesting balance. Minnesota looks great because they have to care. Like, in the first half, you might get really increased minutes for these guys to just set the table and make it easier in the second half. But Minnesota's going to look awesome because they have everything to play for today. One of the most important spots of the day. We don't have any Minnesota bets, unfortunately. We do have Kyle Filipowski under 1.5 threes, 10 odd shopper rating on NoVig. OKC and New Orleans. Neither one of these teams have anything to play for. Obviously, Oklahoma City locked into the 1 seed. Pelicans are just trying to lose. They've got nothing going on. They don't have enough bodies for it to matter. No Caruso, Dort, Shea, Hartenstein, Holmgren, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams. OKC's punting this bad boy. This is going to be one of the most popular places on the 330 slate. Incredible value. Look at the value on these guys for Isaiah Joe, 6x. Aaron Wiggins, 5.6x. And then you get to Dylan Jones, 7.5x. Kenrich Williams, 7.5x. Jalen Williams with a Y, 8x. Brandon Carlson and Adam Flagler, 10x, both. AJ Mitchell, 7.5x. Even Alex Dukas is at 5.8. Massive ownership to Oklahoma City on the 330 slate. They're the most popular team. They're the most interesting team. Get all of the Oklahoma City. For the Pelicans, they're still shorthanded. They've got 8 bodies. They're going to have quite a bit of value in Jamal Cain. Jamal Cain, the nuke of the night that did it on Friday, I might add. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, 8x. Lester Quinones, 8x. Antonio Reeves, 7x. Elfrid Payton, Keon Brooks, all 6x. This is the game to target. Oklahoma City, New Orleans. You're wanting the whole damn game today. The whole damn game. OKC under 3.5 assists for Isaiah Joe on NoVig. Do we have anything for OKC or New Orleans other than that? We do not. Just Isaiah Joe. So yes, Pelicans, Thunder. Arguably the most important game on the 330 slate. Lakers and Portland. Lakers already locked into the 3 seed. Portland already out of the playoffs. Neither one of these teams care about this game. This will be a spot that you pay attention to for the Lakers. It's just like Oklahoma City. Same scenario. They're sitting everybody. No Luka, no Dorian Finney-Smith, no Rui, no LeBron, no Reeves. Q tag on Vincent, Vanderbilt, and Hayes. You can look at the boom scores on these guys. Shake Milton, 67%. Jordan Goodwin, 62. Dalton Connect, 78. Bronny James, 54. Bronny James is a guy today. Flat 3K, point guard, shooting guard, probably playing tons of minutes. Because what if we get Hayes and Vanderbilt and Vincent out? We're going to get 30 out of Bronny. He's going to be one of the most popular guys on the day. So the Lakers are just like OKC. They look a lot like the Pelicans too. Plenty of value to go around. 9.5x on Shake, 8.5x on Bronny, 10x on Dalton Connect, 9x on Jordan Goodwin. Lakers, 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 Lakers. All Lakers. They're sitting everybody. No Lakers bets, though, unfortunately. Portland. Same scenario. Denny Avdia, doubtful. Jeremy Grant, obviously out. Scoot, out. Shaden Sharp, questionable. Simons, out. So, Delano Banton, looking great at 6K. Little bit of value on Thibault, on Klingon, on Chris Murray. If Sharp is out, these guys will look a lot better. So Portland's not a guaranteed gotta jam these guys. They'll have some parts. The Lakers are guaranteed you gotta jam these guys today. No Lakers bets or Portland bets on the Portfolio EV tool. By the way, guys, schedule for the rest of the day. We have more shows. We have a bunch more shows today. Schedule. At 11 a.m., so in about an hour and 20 minutes, you're going to get live before lock for baseball. You'll get Emac and Bellman. At noon, you get a real NBA live before lock today for the final one. You're going to get Greg and you're going to get Eric. NBA live before lock at noon, leading you into the 1 o'clock game. So you do not want to miss that show. 2 games left. Phoenix Suns, 15.5-point dogs in Sacramento, 223 total. Phoenix obviously already out. They're planning their vacation. The Kings need to win this game. They are 88% to be the 9 seed, 12% chance to be the 10. They want to host the Mavericks in the 9-10. So the Kings are going to let this one rip. Phoenix, on the other hand, no Bradley Beal, no Devin Booker, no Kevin Durant, no Nick Richards. That's going to be quite a bit of value for Colin Gillespie, Grayson Allen, Ryan Dunn, Oso Ighodaro. Those 4 guys are going to be popular. Gillespie, Dunn, Ighodaro, all like 6.5x value plays. Grayson Allen, certainly going to be able to get his shots up. Nobody else creates any offense on this team. So there are some parts of Phoenix that matter, but Sacramento has to play it and win it because they do not want to be on the road no matter who they're playing. So real minutes out of Sabonis. Raw point ceiling is huge. Keon Ellis at 4,900 because Sacramento is without Malik Monk. Ellis will look good. I'm willing to take chances on Levine and DeRozan because these guys are going to play 36, 37 minutes and try to make sure they get this dub today. So Sacramento has a lot to play for. Phoenix has nothing to play for. You should be getting to some of these Sacramento pay-ups for a raw point ceiling. We don't have any Sacramento bets or Phoenix bets out there on OddsShopper right now. Again, promo code CHAOS, link in the description. 14-day free trial of the Portfolio EV tool. Yeah, Matthew, I don't agree. It should be 23%, exactly what it is. He's 10,200, man. Needs 61 fantasy points. Final game of the 3:30 slate. Toronto Raptors, San Antonio Spurs. Neither team has anything to play for. Spurs already out. Raptors already out. Spurs are without Jeremy Sohan and Devin Vassell. Toronto, no RJ Barrett, no Jakob Poeltl, no Emmanuel Quickley, no Jared Rhoden, no Jacoby Walter. So for Toronto, yeah, these guys are going to play. These guys are going to play for sure. Lots of minutes. Toronto, one of the best values that you can get today. I know that's not fun, but massive minutes out of a team that has essentially 7 guys. Because we saw it again. They still aren't playing Chris Boucher. They played 7 guys last time out. Scotty Barnes is going to play a little bit. But Jamal Shed, 60% boom. Jamison Battle, 30% boom. Akbaji, 45. Mobo, 50. Lawson, 50. Temple, 50. 7.5x, 6.5x, 7x, 6.5, 8. Massive value for Toronto because they just don't have any human beings to play this game. They're going to play 7 guys because they hate Chris Boucher. And then for San Antonio, I don't know how you go here. Maybe a little Castle if you want him to like firm up that Rookie of the Year bid. Maybe a little Mamu, 3,700 off the bench. A little bit of value in Keldon Johnson or Blake Wesley or Julian Champagny. But San Antonio is not the same thing because they got a lot more bodies available. Toronto, they don't have anything available. So that is where we stand for right now, guys. That's a lap through all 30 teams and what they have to play for today. We still have a lot of news to wait on for Q tags. These projections are going to get updated constantly throughout the day. Increase your variance in the sims today. We are not as confident about the way we're projecting players as we are normally. So maybe widen those bars a little bit for yourselves. Should be a fun slate. You're going to get live before lock later today. Jefferson 33, which team needs to win? Thank you for not listening to the previous 45 minutes where I outlined every single situation for every single team. Incredible. What a way to end the regular season. I'm out on that message. Nothing could be better than that. That's the whole point of this damn show. And that's the question. Fantastic. The regular season is over, folks. Live before lock coming up later today at noon Eastern time. But I will be back Tuesday morning to break down the play-in games. I hope you guys had a great regular season. I hope you had a great weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you later.